Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving straight into a topic that hits close to home, literally. We're going to break down how your home is the ultimate classroom and how you, yes you, are your child's very first teacher. Now, if you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the pressure of early childhood education, or maybe you've wondered, am I doing enough for my little one? Well, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to look at the data and the developmental science that proves your everyday routines are actually incredibly powerful educational tools. So let's kick things off with a simple question that honestly causes parents way too much unnecessary stress. When you hear the word teacher, what do you picture? You probably think of a classroom, chalkboards, or maybe the certified educator at the preschool down the street. But is that really where a child's education begins? Well, the absolute truth is that learning begins right at birth. The astonishing speed of early brain development during those first few years means you are actually the unsung hero of your child's education. From their very first grin to that first stumbling word, kids are absorbing the world around them like a giant sponge. And the primary source of that world, that's you. Now, the science behind this boils down to a concept experts call responsive parenting. And it's all about everyday interactions, chatting, singing, reading, and playing. These aren't just, cute ways to pass the time before nap time. They actively enhance neuronal connections in a child's rapidly growing brain. Simply talking or singing to your baby is quite literally wiring their brain for future academic and social success. It's amazing. All right, let's move right into section 1, the child's first teacher. Let's look at how you're building these foundational skills every single day. As the primary caregiver, your impact is, wow, it's absolutely profound. Emotional development isn't taught with flashcards, right? It's engineered through your daily warmth and responsiveness. Then there's language development. All those silly conversations and bedtime stories, they are literally building their vocabulary. When you sit down for guided play, you're modeling vital social skills. And cognitive development just happens naturally as you let young kids explore and solve small problems in their environment. You are the architect of their growth. Now, looking at all that, you might be thinking, hold on, how exactly am I supposed to influence all of this early learning without a formal teaching degree? It feels like a ton of pressure for sure. But the answer is actually incredibly comforting. And it relies entirely on your environment. Which brings us to section 2, why home learning matters. You see, context and consistency are just everything, because children feel safest at home. Your parent-led guidance naturally builds their confidence, independence, and creativity in a completely child-centered environment. Think about it. When a child feels completely secure, their brain isn't stuck in survival mode, it's in exploration mode. They don't have to worry about the pressures of the outside world, so their natural curiosity just takes the lead. Think about your everyday chores and routines, things like folding laundry, setting the table, or picking up toys. It turns out, these exact same ordinary moments easily transform into powerful educational milestones. You really don't need a formal classroom setup. By simply narrating what you're doing, or, say, asking your child to hand you the red shirt instead of the blue one, your everyday routines seamlessly transform into vital lessons that reinforce positive behaviors and critical thinking. So, what exactly should you be doing with your toddlers all day to really maximize these moments? What are the actual activities that bridge the gap between everyday life and early education? Let's demystify this right now in section 3, learning through everyday play. Okay, get ready for the absolute best news I can give you in this entire explainer. Ready? Effective home learning does not require expensive tools. No way do you need to go out and buy flashy, heavily marketed, battery-operated gadgets to teach your kids at home. Actually, sometimes those things can be a huge distraction. The truth is, you already have a house full of the best educational tools available. It is incredibly easy to map everyday activities to specific developmental skills. Let's say you're making lunch. Kitchen math isn't about boring worksheets. It's about asking your child to count the apple slices, sort the colored bowls, or compare the sizes of different spoons. That maps directly to early math and logic. Singing a song with hand motions, that improves memory and coordination. Giving them some clay or crayons develops the fine motor skills they're going to need for handwriting later on. Even a simple nature walk outside builds observation and vocabulary. It really is that straightforward. Now, if you're sitting there wondering how to seamlessly fit these activities into your already crazy busy life without feeling like a strict headmaster trying to control a classroom, well, it all comes down to your overarching approach. And that naturally leads us to section 4, positive parenting techniques. Turning a regular house into a highly nurturing learning environment really just boils down to a few consistent practices. First, follow your child's interests. If they're absolutely fascinated by bugs today, great, count bugs. Second, offer choices to build their autonomy. Let them pick between two different books for story time. Next, maintain predictable schedules so they know what to expect and feel secure. By following their interests and offering choices, you're creating a secure attachment where children feel completely safe to try, fail, and learn all over again.
I really want to pause on this next point because honestly, it's probably the most impactful takeaway of our entire explainer. Praise effort, not just outcomes. It's a real game changer. When you praise the hard work, the focus, and the effort you see, rather than just saying, you're so smart, or only clapping when they get the right answer, you ensure your child develops resilience and a lifelong love of learning, completely regardless of the final result.
All right, moving on to our final section. Section 5, empower your parenting journey. Because parenting is an ongoing learning process for us too, right? To keep upskilling on your own journey, resources like Boothie are incredibly helpful. Boothie is a leading online platform that offers professionally prepared courses designed for parents, teachers, and educators alike. Whether you're looking for specific courses on parenting, early childhood education, or special needs, they offer really flexible options, including free, subscription, and paid programs. It's a great way to empower yourself to drive positive change in your child's educational foundation. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to carry with you today. Knowing the immense power of your love, your presence, and your patience, how will you use today's simple, ordinary moments to build your child's brightest tomorrow? Remember, you don't need a formal classroom to be a great teacher. You just need to be present. Thank you so much for joining me to explore this topic,